Hi everyone, we will start on time. Thank you for being here. Just quick technical questions. There was a request from you having ideas, but without the team members. So who has an idea and do not have a team yet from last time? Okay, how many? 1, 2, 3. Who else? All right. So I will give you a floor to present shortly what you're going to, what an idea they have and what the team members you're looking for. So, okay? Will it suit you? Come on. Do you need a team members? Yes, I guess or not? You guess. I can guess as well. So, do you need or not? Don't be shy. Come on. Because the thing is that without a team, we don't think that you're going to finish your project at all. So it's not viable by any reason. But you can, be open here. Maybe you? Laptop? No. If you can express yourself clearly, so laptop doesn't help. But shortly, we don't need that you present everything you know. You just say 1 page. Now it's too difficult because it's live and come on, yes, that's the time before the people are coming, so yeah. The floor is yours.
So I'll be as short as possible. I'm looking for developers. Are there any programmers? Great, one. All right, I guess I found my teammate. If there is only one person. Thank you.
All right, so you have to come to that person. Okay, now you. Okay. I can help. That's the page. That's the stuff.
That's not from the last time. Hello, my name is Jurgita, and I'm looking for team members. The idea will be to do a program, business to business, for paperless warranties. So as you see, okay. So if you purchase some goods in e-shop or other shops, you have some warranties, papers. And after time, when goods are just broken or something lost, so you need some warranty. So sometimes we just forgive where we left it. So I would like to do a program for paperless warranties. Programmers, yeah. Maybe.
So do you know how it will work?
If you have some ideas or you would like to join and you like this idea, please come.
Okay, thank you. I will just technically, maybe I will try to improve the mic just to see if it works better. Okay, 1, 2, 3, better. Ladies, there are some seats over there, if you can come and we'll share the place. Well, I think, is it empty or not? No? It's free. One is here. Is it a full team? So come on. Maybe we can sit over there. So I want you that all be here inside this room. One place is you together? Both of you? Yes? So maybe just if these guys can, just help you out. Okay? Do you want to come on floor? Please.
Hello, everybody. Oh, wow. Sorry. All right. I have a bit of a problem, but an idea, and not product or service yet. But I'm looking for teammates who are interested in urban gardens in the military site. And if you liked the example of Miesto Laboratoria, the city laboratory on the first day, that's something in the line of thinking. So the urban gardens place already exist. We have a community that really need it and want to use it. I would like to think of whether this is a social can it be a social business, and try to find products or services that can be incorporated into urban gardens there. So, thank you.
Okay, who is interested in urban garden? Richard is here? Good. And the lady over there? So, I don't know how to fix you, but... okay, so maybe where you can sit now. And you? To come on floor? So come. Guys, one seat, I think one seat is left here. Another, oh, that's you was, okay. So maybe. Posters? From the last time?
Yeah.
Yes, they are, but not here. Okay, so they stand. So.
No?
No, not.
Okay. Okay, so hi guys, I'm Indra. Last time I was presenting my idea Kid and Go, which is people-to-people service, rental service of kids goods for traveling families. So I'm really willing to go for it and try to develop, and who would be in. I need like any people who would like to learn from the process and would be enthusiastic to join. Like, of course, programmers, but not necessarily. Maybe people who are marketeers or experienced with the project management, like. So, anyone? Okay, good.
We have time.
Yeah, so if you like change your mind or anything, so just let me know. Yeah, don't be shy and let me know on Facebook.
Okay, thank you. There are one place is here. I think an hour if it's not, and one here. So free seats left, and then in fact over here you can sit. Come, baby, come. Who else? Please.
Hello, everybody. So we are working on micro consultations, like for making a perfect match, like on Tinder. So we are looking for one programmer. So who would like to join us? Talk with me. Thank you.
You see, to be programmer it's the only way to to start a business. Okay, somebody else to share your idea? Yeah, Antoni?
So I have a secret weapon here, what's her name? Little Abigail. So our team actually is looking for a graphic designer. We have a game-winning idea with renewables. My background is in renewables. We have a team of 4 people. So if any programmer or graphic designer is interested to work on a great project that we will both make a business side and hardware side, please join us. We are right here.
Okay. Thank you. Applause. Okay. Somebody else? Okay. You? Okay, so you sharing the baby somehow? Or?
That was a good marketing tool. Hello, everybody. Yeah, so even being a mom is said to be the time when you basically sit at home. That's not true. And to prove that, I'd like to invite you to join the idea that I have. It's not only just, going with a stroller for hours and thinking and overthinking. No, this idea actually started spinning in my head before. I've got Abigail, and I always wanted to work with the disadvantaged groups. And the one that I'm thinking about is people who are age 55 and more. So 55 and elder. I see that they actually struggle in the job market a lot. And I think that there is one area which they really can be useful, and that's food area, so to call. And I was thinking about creating a school that would basically invite those elder people to join the training course. Yes, Abigail, yes, that's a microphone. Yeah, and I would like them to be taught by the ones who do not belong to the elder generation. Because in most public schools, you basically get to know how to cook balandėliai, cepelinai and stuff. But in the program provided by that school, I would like them to learn even fancy foods, even vegan foods, even some drinks, some, I don't know, maybe nut milks to make, so that they could be employed by the top restaurants, if not as the chefs, so maybe as the ones who help the chefs. So basically, my idea is to get them involved in the food area, in the food field, because the food is the thing that unites everybody, disregarding the age. So if you want to join me, and if you could develop this idea into something bigger and more significant, please come over. Thank you.
Thank you again. Nice. We have a lot of nice people and brandings as well. All right, so is someone? Yep, good.
Hello, everyone, and I'm looking for girls who last time presented, who last time presented an app which uses the barcode, and when you scan it, it shows you how to recycle a package and how to recycle it. Is you are here? Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
There are. Yeah. Okay. Good. So.
Hello. Last time we represented that what we're doing, what we're planning to do. We're planning to do a recycling system, which basically invites people to collaborate with the recycling and not just to give money, but some sort of basically that you will receive. Basically, when you give a plastic or some sort of recyclable thing, that you could give some sort of feedback, but not money. But we're looking for the blockchain specialist or something like that, who could help us accomplish basically some sort of like virtual money, which could pay off as like when you bring something recyclable, not just throwing it off. So if there is any marketing specialist or blockchain specialist, we would be happy to join you. Blockchain, because we want to make a system that, for example, if you bring some sort of like recyclable plastic, that the blockchain would help us, we make some sort of currency. For example, you give us plastic, we give you some sort of points, and for those points you can basically like not like a bitcoins, but similar system that you can pay like with those points, going to the other shops or getting some sort of discounts or something like that. Just to try people to get more into recycling.
Thank you. Yeah, come here.
Hello, my name is Ironas. I'm with my colleague Dominikas. We are working on a project right now to make an online sales platform like Amazon, but something smaller for Lithuania. So the idea became to my mind because I had my own website. I tried to sell production over there, like sell stuff online, but I meet some huge issues by trying to sell because I needed to invest a lot of money to digital marketing, to SEO, to pronounce my website. So the idea came to my mind to make a website for every small business to help them sell stuff online, to make profiles for every business so we can sell and we can take the percentage, like commissions for our help. So we would like to make next Amazon, and we need a team who would like to work together, who can help us to program it and create the website. Thank you very much.
Okay, marketplace. New marketplace for some goods. All right, somebody else to present in the floor? No? Okay. Thank you, everyone. Now I'll take my time a bit. I want to introduce a bit again with the workbook. I was a bit telling you during the team building workshop, but I'm coming back again why we're starting with problem solving workshop. So our goal that you at the end of this course and pre-acceleration program, you would have a pitch deck of 10 slides, which is technically showed in this page. So why we're doing that and why people like the concrete pitch slide deck, because as I say, if you can explain it simply, you don't understand it well enough. So people try to sometimes to present how it works, but not about why we need that. So these 5 workshops is for you to get ready to prepare this pitch deck. So it's not me or Julia is going to do that. You're going to do that. So this workshop is complementary for you to prepare this pitch deck based on your idea or business project. The thing is that almost 70% of startups going to bankrupt because there is no market. And there is no market is because you're solving not the customer problem, but your own problem. So that is very important to understand. Are you actually solving the customer problem, and how big is this? Is it the problem suits only for 3 or 2 guys around you, or even more? So that's why we're starting with the problem or opportunity, because based on that, this is fundamental. If you cannot understand your customer first, and if you cannot understand the customer problem, so you cannot create the value for them. You can create value for yourself as a career. You get like experience being on the floor. That's all right. But if you're going to do a real business and if you're going to ask a real money to price it, I want $20 from you just for one click, so that you be ready to understand why people is going to do that and why people is going to pay you for such amount. So that's why we're going from the problem. And today we're having a nice guest, Diana Garlytska, to do this workshop for you. And so please welcome here. Thank you, Diana, and the floor is yours.
Well, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. I'm here to speak about problem solving, but from perspective of sustainability in the context of what your businesses are about, or supposedly should be about. And for us to start talking about, the purpose is to get on the same wavelengths. So, yeah, I am a lecturer and researcher. I'm a head of R&D Division in Socialinių, mokslų, kolegija. And I've been mentoring for Futurepreneurs for several years. This year is the third one, so I'm hoping to get to work with one of the teams this year as well. The point is, as I said, to start with theoretical background, to speak the same kind of terminology in the same way, so that you could communicate your ideas to your mentor, between yourselves, to the stakeholders that you will have to contact in the right manner, and for you to understand what sustainability is all about, what social business is about, what sustainable business is, and how that differs from corporate social responsibility. And as we get the understanding of that, we get to the point of brainstorming your business ideas and analyzing the problems that you have to solve in your businesses. Well, today is Wednesday, and basically we're halfway through the week, and it's a perfect time for you to consider yourself as a Superman or a Wonder Woman, and to actually think of implementing such business that is able to come up with a solution for the problems that exist out there in the humanity on a planetary level or even the local community level, right? So yeah, tune in and imagine that you're either one of the heroes. What the confusions come from, and what are the areas that make it confusing for people and people misusing the terms. The concept of sustainability in the first place. Sustainable development concept was developed by the United Nations in one of the conferences, and in simpler terms, it boils down to the fact that it's such development of the planet Earth, the humanity, that foresees the current generations using the available resources in such way that the future generations still their ability is not impaired to use those resources, right? If you and I use all the oil, coal, any other minerals today, then our grandchildren, great-grandchildren will not have access to it, right? If explained in simpler terms. And sustainable development concept is rather philosophical in a sense that it doesn't suggest precise ways, means, instruments with which it should be implemented, but it's a guiding concept that suggests that we should develop our economic and social systems in such way that we consider the future of the coming generations. When we talk about sustainability, sustainable businesses, very often, even in books, the terminology is being misused. So I suggest we go through such spectrum and analyze each and every kind of organizations that could be referred as sustainable, but maybe are not. On the left, you have traditional nonprofit. You imagine what those are, right? All the non-governmental, non-profit organizations. Can you name some? Caritas, okay. Any other? Maisto Bankas. What else? Maybe any international organization that you know? No, Wikipedia is... sorry? World Health, okay. Yeah, non-profit, right. Maybe if Wikipedia is not generating profit, then for that purpose they match. But we look into the organizations that exist there with particular missions, purpose, right? Non-profit with income-generating activities exist, but not in all countries. This is a matter of the law, right? In some countries, they find it so difficult to track that the non-profit organizations are actually not taking advantage of being not taxed, that they don't have this form. They merely say that non-profits are living off the donations, they're not allowed to generate profit. But in those countries where this form exists, and in Lithuania, for example, non-profit organizations are allowed to have profit-generating activities. Those could be consulting services of NGOs to the business or general public, organizing workshops, trainings, maybe even developing some products to sell. This is NGO with profit-generating activities, right? They don't live only off donations, but they also create profit. Then we have social enterprises, and we call it an enterprise then, right? So it's a company, like any other company, but a social business is one that is, just like NGO, created for the sake of solving a particular problem that exists in the society, right? So we're talking about the company that exists in the first place so that to solve the problem, not to generate revenue, right? And we will go through some examples of those that exist internationally and in Lithuania. Sustainable businesses are more to the right, right? And those businesses are the ones that are embedded into economic, social, and environmental spheres, fields, and contribute to them positively, right? They have them in the strategy, and this is the idea of the business being sustainable in the core business activities. And then there are companies that are not sustainable in their business model, but they have, say, corporate social responsibility programs or initiatives, and they obviously are focusing on particular, if you want, smaller aspects, or are not doing sustainability as business model part, right? And then we have traditional businesses that are not sustainable, that are there for the sake of creating revenue and do not have any corporate social responsibility programs or initiatives. Is this part clear? Yes? Perfect. Then social enterprises, as I say, are there to solve particular social problems in the society. In Lithuania, you could notice the Guru restaurant that exists for many years and is located on Vilnius Street. Have you heard about it? Right? It's a restaurant that is, well, known for being a social business, employing particularly people with difficult background, either having in the past some difficulties with drugs or alcohol. Obviously, such people have difficulty finding the job after they've been through the recovery program for various reasons, right? And then restoring their reputation, finding the first job is a challenge. And this restaurant employs particularly people of such background, giving them the possibility to start the new life, right? In the first place, for them, is the employment of these people, rehabilitation of the employees that they have, right? And obviously, so that to exist, so that to have some income, they are functioning like any other traditional restaurant, providing food and meals for a price, right? Then you probably have seen in some of the Lithuanian stores Tom's shoes, right? I bet you did. Who did? Perfect. It's a famous case of a social business. For every pair that they sell, the pair that you buy, in that price there is embedded a price of a second pair that they give for free to those in need. Usually, for most, they focus on kids in developing countries. Right? Because in developing countries, especially if we're talking about countries with hot climate, where kids do not have shoes and there is a high risk of parasitic disease, they are exposed to those diseases and, in fact, may even die because of the consequences of the illness. Right? So that to prevent that, they have initiated such business, and that's the purpose of having the business for them. And then there is an app, Be My Eyes. Have you heard about that one? Okay, but it's interesting for you to check them out. This is an app that helps the people who have sight impaired, impaired sight, vision that is impaired, to see or hear what is around them by the help of a person on the other side of the phone, because people who are sighted, people who can see, are connected to the app as well, and then can tell a blind person or a person with an impaired vision that this is the expiration date on the package of milk, or this is the kind of picture that is in front of you. These are the people on a photograph, and so on, right? And so they serve so that to solve that problem of people with impaired vision. That's the idea of social business. Another case in Lithuania is Naughty Ones. Fantastic marketing, right, in the name. And have you heard about this business? The Naughty Ones exist for the sake of supporting women in, well, not really remote areas, but in those smaller cities of Lithuania, in those regions where the unemployment rate is rather high, and where women who have some obligations like being stay-at-home moms and so on, have difficulties to find a job. So they have patterns and they send them to those women who work for them and need for them, and employ such women who otherwise would have difficulties finding the job. They have really nice designs, and it works not only from aesthetic point of view, but also solving the problem that is out there in the society. Corporate social responsibility. When we talk about that, we talk about self-commitment of the company to step further than what is prescribed by law, right? If there is an obligation to pay decent salary that is fixated in the law, then this is not so much of a goodwill of a company. This is what is mandatory to do, right? But say if the company is buying a uniform for its factory workers or invests into personnel training, this is an extra. They don't have to do it by law, right? They do it out of their own will. And this is some of the examples of corporate social responsibility. It's also not only in particular things like I mentioned, but also in strategy of the company, the values that the company shares within the employees, and so on. There are some stages of corporate social responsibility that this concept has been through. Corporate social responsibility, first examples have appeared in 60s, 70s, and basically it boiled down to reflecting on the catastrophes and accidents in environmental field that already happened, right? So these days, in 2019, we wouldn't even call it corporate social responsibility, right? But back then, these were the first examples of company taking the responsibility to step in for where they made a mess. In 70s, 80s, the second stage of corporate social responsibility took place, and it then transitioned to being more conscious and businesses investing in preventive measures, training the employees, having some safety standards within the company. Some of the greatest examples of these first investments, massive strategical investments in preventive measures was the company 3M, making the stationery. And the logic is obvious, right? Switching from the acting upon the existing problem to making sure the problem doesn't take place at all, right? The third stage of corporate social responsibility, basically from 90s up until now, is more about corporate reporting, focusing on transparency of the business, what the values are, how they're aiming to improve the negative impact that they have on the society, economy, environmental field, what objectives, aims they have so that to improve the situation of the impact their business has. It's about certification of the products and services that the company creates, and it's very much about also publicity that the company does to have that right image and being transparent about how they do the business. In fact, indeed, corporate social responsibility is very much driven by the consumer demand. You and I, as consumers, vote for this or the other product with the wallet, right? I buy from this business, I don't buy from that business. Why? Because for me, let's say, it is important that they have particular values, that they transparently declare how the business is impacting economic, social, or environmental spheres. And so they have to comply. They have to respond to the need of the market in being greener, in being socially responsible. And there is a great confusion in corporate social responsibility being philanthropy. This, in fact, is a wrong concept and understanding of what corporate social responsibility is. It's not about how businesses spend the money, let's say giving charity for local school or, I don't know, investing into some cleanup project or initiative, but this is about how they make the money, literally them doing a business in particular way, right? Is this so far clear? Yeah, perfect. Some example of corporate social responsibility, the company DHL, logistics company, are you familiar with it? Perfect. DHL very much pays attention to the impact it has on social, economic, and environmental fields. Obviously, as a company involved in logistics, transportation, there are emissions created as a result of the business activities. And being concerned with the impact they have, DHL intensively cooperates with various NGOs and has particular CSR directions in place. So what they do is they have 3 main directions within their corporate social responsibility. Those are Go Help, Go Teach, and Go Green. Yeah, the Go Green program. The Go Green direction division of their CSR is aimed at environment protection, and you can imagine the huge infrastructure and presence of the company all over the world with all the offices and facilities and the vehicles that they have. Obviously, minimizing the negative impact on the environment is the key for them, and they do it through various activities within this direction. I will give you a few examples in further slides. Then we have Go Help, and this is about, again, using the infrastructure that the company has to, because of being a logistics company, having access to particular points, destinations, locations. Those are remote areas, hard to reach areas. They also participate in some let's say challenging situations when there would be earthquakes or when there is a need to support some NGO or governmental activities, so that to reach a particular location, so that to distribute the goods or to provide the support in some area using their infrastructure. And then Go Teach. You can imagine a huge network of employees within the company, the expertise that they have, the knowledge that those professionals possess, and them being as experts, providing their knowledge, sharing their experience to the kids, students in various communities is within this Go Teach program. Employees being involved and sharing the knowledge. Obviously supporting some initiatives and doing the initiatives under Go Teach umbrella with NGOs. Basically, when we speak about sustainable businesses, we have to then speak about a different approach. It's not a narrow area of focus, right? Like it would be with CSR. Sustainable businesses are the ones that in their core, the business model itself, are sustainable. What is sustainability? What are those aspects where you have to see business being compliant? Social, environmental, and economic fields, right? The intersection of these 3 being good, being positive for economic, social, and environmental systems is what makes a business sustainable. There are particular aspects, characteristics if you want, that have to be in the business so that you could say, all right, this business is sustainable, that one doesn't have these characteristics, and thus it doesn't make that business a sustainable one. stakeholder engagement, environmental management systems, life cycle analysis, and reporting and disclosure. Let's go through each of these so that you knew how to position your business as well. So you could speak if it's a social business only, serving so that to solve a particular societal problem, or it's even a sustainable business, because the model of the business that you create really qualifies these characteristics. Stakeholder engagement. In the first place, and I know from my teaching practice, people confuse the term stakeholder with the term shareholder. Who are the stakeholders? Everyone. No, everyone is a good answer, but let's be more specific. Your employees, your customers, your employees, mother, father, grandmother. Not necessarily, but okay. If you call them a society, a community in which the business is embedded. Who else? Financial institutions, local governmental authorities, right? General public, competitors, right? Basically everyone who has a stake in your business, everyone who is interested from positive or negative perspective in your business existence, right? Stakeholder engagement very often by some businesses is being perceived in a wrong manner, in a sense that they use it for PR, pushing out the messages. But in fact, the right stakeholder engagement involves actually hearing out what people have to say and responding to their needs, their feedback. In DHL, when they started operating in Eastern Germany, in Leipzig, that's where the hub for Europe is located, the central hub. They, for instance, had to connect, obviously, with local government, making sure that the local community is not being affected negatively by the operations that are being enhanced now in the airport, where they enter and now start working more intensively. It was about hearing out the employees that they have, considering the needs and working the night shifts, because most of the operations take place in the facility at the night. So for the single parents, or if both parents work at the facility, the question was how to handle the issue with leaving the kids alone at home. Hearing all these messages from various stakeholders who have different perspectives to their business, they had to find solutions for each of the feedback that they received. Initiating the kindergarten for the employees of the company, speaking out to the local administration and collaborating, knowing how to contribute to the community so that the business was received there positively and had a positive image. Collaborating with airport authorities so that to align their business operations with the rest of the operations in the airport. And this is a very thoughtful process, and that's what is being part of being sustainable business. Well, I have a picture of the facility itself and the flat roof. I told you that there will be an example of going green, right, for the CSR that they have. The roof has the possibility to collect the rainwater. And the water is being used for flushing the toilets. It's a green solution for when you consider thousands of employees working through the shifts every day, and obviously a great amount of natural resources that are being needed for the electricity, water, heating in the facility. So stakeholder engagement, that is clear, right? Now we have environmental management systems. Now, considering that you are aspiring startups, right? You might not have that much money to invest in having a proper software designed, tailored for you particularly, but you should be obviously concerned of having one in future, or generally the fact that in perspective, that's what sustainable business should have in place. what is environmental management system. For you to know what is your impact on environment, to track that from month to month, from year to year, and know how to act upon it, and if there was any positive shift, such software is being created for the business, right? Literally, it's a program, and it's tailor-made, usually. Of course, you can have one standardized solution from companies that offer those services, but there will be some deviation in the results, right? Because it's more accurate when it's particularly for your national standards, for the industry in which you operate, for the size of the business that you have, and so on, right? And basically, it measures each and every business aspect, the activities that you have in your company, and what kind of impact it has on the environment. CO2 emissions from the use of electricity, use of paper, waste management that you have, use of water, the commute of your employees, or the commute of the vehicles that you have on the balance of your company. Literally every single business activity that you have in there, depending on what the business is all about, right? So environmental management system is normally a properly designed software tailored for you, but if you're a small company, again, depending on the kind of business that you have, maybe a solution would be literally to just use some Excel sheets and to keep track of the CO2 emissions that you have, and track your results through that. Also using the available online carbon footprint calculators for businesses. Again, there is an issue with having different national standards, because obviously those calculators are made for particular countries and they have their average data based on which they calculate for you. But this could be a solution too, right? An Excel and available online calculators. Another aspect of being sustainable business is reporting and disclosure. The fact that one self-proclaims him, herself, a sustainable business owner doesn't really make that business really sustainable, right? Reporting and disclosure is about you being transparent, putting on your website, let's say, a report with CO2 emissions and particular aspects that you did, so that to improve the situation, or your plans for the coming year, how you will improve the situation, right? Particular initiatives that you will take. Maybe areas of your business that you will restructure, right? Life cycle analysis. This is literally the core product that you create, or a service. Thinking from every stage of product life cycle, how to make that product green, right? From the idea generation till the disposal of your product by the end customer. I will have some examples of sustainable businesses for you later, and we see that some businesses actually find a solution for the disposal stage. When the product that they create is initially designed in such a way that the business encourages the end user not to throw it into a trash bin, and creates a product that supposedly is eternal, right? Greenwashing is a term that you might have heard, but not precisely know how to act upon it, how to really see it. And I thought that this is necessary to mention it today. This is those vague statements of the businesses, or putting the green labels that don't exist or are not the standards that are commonly accepted or initiated by some known companies. Greenwashing is about wannabe, yeah? When in fact the business is not supporting their statements that they have about their positive environmental image with actual support, actual facts. Why being sustainable? In the first place, it's your reputation. Reputation in the eyes of consumers, reputation in the general public eyes, your reputation in the eyes of the local authorities. In some countries, it's possible to have a tax waiver being a sustainable business. You may have possibility to have better contracts, potential suppliers that could only work with businesses that are green, that are sustainable. It's really about getting into that good boys club, so to say, because those companies that are concerned about their environmental impact and really care about their CO2 emissions prefer or only deal with such companies that do reporting and are sustainable businesses themselves. For instance, Coca-Cola, right? A company that has a lot to do with sorting out their challenges with the packaging, right? And using the natural resources for the products that they have, is very much concerned about improving on their sustainability and thus deals with businesses that can provide for their events that Coca-Cola would like to, say, organize in a hotel, a particular report of how much emissions was created for the, let's say, New Year's party for the employees, right? So only that hotel that has an actual possibility to generate such report that is able to calculate and provide the report is then a kind of hotel that will offer them the venue for the event, right? So you cannot really reach out to that upper league if you're not there. It really gives you a better perspective if you are a sustainable business. It's about getting a competitive advantage, right? Being able to provide more to your customers than any other business that is not sustainable. And entering new markets and networks. Talking about sustainable businesses, if you need more arguments why it's important to be a sustainable business or striving to become one, it's also about sustainable businesses being more resilient to shocks, right? When you're embedded into a social system as a business, you then know your market well. You really are in touch with your stakeholders. If you are embedded into economic system and you have a positive reputation there, you are conscious, responsible taxpayer, right? Then there is more legacy that you get in the eyes of the tax authorities and local administration for the initiatives that you may need support from their side, right? And it's also about the employees' commitment. As a business that has concern for how they do their business and investing in their employees' professional development, safety and health conditions, you are creating such team of people who are loyal to you as an employer and who really are committed to help you grow that business, right? So why being sustainable is obvious, right? It's in your benefit in the first place. Sometimes there is a question I receive like, but we don't really want to play with that card and to speak publicly that we're so green and so positive and so sustainable because we don't find it ethical. In fact, it's silly not to speak about it. Right? If you are one, this is your advantage that you should communicate about. Except for the case when you're not really there and then it turns into greenwashing, right? Business cases. Everyone wants to see some juicy, interesting examples, and I think in Lithuania there are some, not only international, that are interesting to speak about. Company Auga. Have you seen their products in the stores? Right? Organic, ecological, really hard to be organic. But they managed to, and they're really successful in Scandinavia. That was their, and I think still is, a prime market, right? But they're now more accessible on the Lithuanian market, and you can see it in many retail stores. And the whole business model, how they grow their crops and how they use the waste of the crops that first fertilize the land how they're rotating all the parts of the business so that it was in compliance and natural connection with the possibilities of the facilities that they have, using sort of cycles of how they're using the land that they have, depending on the crops that they grow there, and animals and other business processes. This is really impressive, of all the well thought out stages that they have in the business, and taking the maximum advantage of the resources that they have, yet being positive to the environment. Who gives a crap? Also an interesting product, business idea. They're producing toilet paper, but they're focusing on environment protection and solving the deforestation problem, right? The paper is made out of wood. Obviously, they care for cutting less trees, and from the paper they produce, they invest money into restoring the forests. Then Patagonia. That brand is also very known for their positive environmental impact and their concern for their environmental impact. Are you familiar with the brand? Right? They are known to be the company that is sports or outwear manufacturer for people who have passion for nature, people who have very active lifestyle. And obviously these are the people that are the right audience for Patagonia to speak about their values. So they had this fantastic campaign. Imagine they're producing clothes and they say, don't buy this jacket, right? There's no logic in it at a first glance, but in fact there's a lot logic in it, because they were talking to the people who, just like them, have passion for nature protection, who are concerned about environmental issues and are living in connection with nature, right? So they would put all the statistical data about what it takes so that to create one jacket. The water, cotton, different other materials, and explain that producing one jacket is in fact involving a lot of resources that otherwise wouldn't be used if you do not choose to have a new jacket, right? So they say, if you buy one from us, please make a conscious choice if you really, really need that jacket, right? And those people really, really wanted that jacket, just because it's the kind of jacket from that kind of company that has a concern for the same values that these people had. Moreover, a beautiful thing about Patagonia, they provide lifetime guarantee for the products that they create. They're pricey, but that's precisely how they make it pay off for the company, that any customer can come back to them with that jacket or whatever other clothing item and have it repaired continuously for as long as the customer comes to them, right? So if you have a hole or any other damage to your jacket, you can come and have it repaired for free. Then Nudie Jeans. Anyone familiar with this brand? They're very popular in Scandinavia. They are also present in Asia and in the Netherlands. And the beautiful thing about Nudie Jeans is that they also provide lifetime guarantee. So as you buy your pair of jeans, you can continuously come to them into the repair shop and have it stitched. Now, I was in their shops and I was asking to literally show me how people have their jeans stitched. And my initial concern is that, okay, I buy your jeans and then I have a hole. In fact, now I have a hole and I'm thinking, how do I have them stitched? Because I don't want to do that myself. I really want them to do that for me, if that's the part of the idea. And so, yeah, let's hope that Nudie Jeans is coming to Lithuania. That would ease the logistics. How does it look when you stitch the jeans? And some people intentionally want their jeans to be visibly worn out. Like they want those holes to be stitched in such manner that it's visible because they like the idea that they're wearing one pair of jeans almost forever or for a very long time. They really fancy the fact that those jeans have a history, have a story to tell, that they lived with them through different situations in life. Other people obviously want it to be not visible, but that's a matter of taste. And the whole idea of having such jeans that last you almost forever or forever is that you have a piece that really is valuable, right? It's not the fast fashion. It's not trash. It's something that really is worth investing into, right? You don't need new resources. And cotton, the jeans are made of, is a very thirsty plant. I don't know if you have heard about the issues of cotton extraction and the use of cotton, but in the fashion industry, this is a very major concern for the use of cotton, or creates a lot of issues as the result of the fashion industry activities. Not creating another pair of jeans saves a lot of the resources for the planet. Literally. Then we have mud jeans. These guys are even more interesting in their own way. Have you had any idea of renting a pair of jeans? Yeah, we rent apartments, we rent equipment, we rent cars, but renting a pair of jeans sounds a bit crazy, right? But there's some fun in it, and these guys suggested such business model that allows people to sign the contract and pay their monthly rent for the pair of jeans. And as the year finishes, they either have to return the pair of jeans and get their deposit back, or buy that pair of jeans, keeping it to themselves, right? But again, no new jeans are necessary. People are using them consciously. They don't have just a piece of clothing. They have something that has an idea, right? A pair of jeans was the message. And some really fancy wearing those. I know sometimes when I talk to my students, for instance, there is a skeptical concern, like, does this really work? Is this business really profitable? Yes, they are. They're really successful in the Netherlands, and it really works for them. Then we have Everlane. I guess you see some of the information, right? But anyway, you can Google as well. This is a very famous brand for the transparency in the fashion industry, and they're speaking about where the price comes from, right? When you go to the shop and you see this really nice piece of clothing, whatever that is, and you look at it and you're like all excited, but then you look at the price tag and you're like, why is it so expensive? Where does this price come from, right? So they explain where their price comes from, how much the price of the labor costs, right? They don't outsource it to the third world countries taking advantage of the economic situation of the people there who work for pennies. They transparently say how much the labor costs and where that manufacturing facility is being located, right? They also say how much the shipment and tailoring and materials cost, and then they show that this is the average price for such kind of quality and design of a piece on the market, and this is the price that we charge, and this is where this price comes from, right? What makes this price? And I think this is impressive how transparent they are about how they do their business, right? As a part of my teaching practice, I had a possibility to travel a lot, and also got to be in Seoul, where they took social businesses on a whole different level. They have a block of social businesses only, right? So you literally have a street where there are shipping containers, and in those shipping containers, they have different kind of social businesses. Those are restaurants that are employing and being managed by single parents. Those are shops with products of social enterprises that are fighting with various causes. If you look them up, this is really impressive how many different social business ideas they have and how the whole thing looks. And it's one stop for all the people who are concerned about buying from social enterprises, right? Paying their money to those who actually not just create a product or a service, but solve a problem, right? Different kind of interesting products that they have, or I came across, being green products, green solutions. For instance, the socks are made of fishing nets, right? When people are fishing, sometimes, in some cases often, they leave the fishing nets in the lakes, in the rivers, and those are contaminating the ecosystems and really create the rotting of the fish that is stuck in there, polluting the whole water system in that lake or a river. And cleaning out those rivers, recycling those fishing nets, turning them into the socks are a business idea of such companies that exist, and there is more than just one. In collaboration with United Nations, in collaboration with International Union for Nature Conservation, one company has created the phone cases. Those are recyclable, and they printed particularly those animals that are endangered species, literally supporting from the revenue that they generate from the sales of those phone cases, the restoration of biodiversity of those particular species. Some examples of reusing textile fabrics that would otherwise be disposed for creating new products, right? So making something new out of almost waste. Same goes for the use of car seats and airplane seats, that leather that is still a valuable resource wouldn't go into waste. And planes that are being discarded still, supply the car seats, the leather, so that to make other products out of it, like wallets and bags and aprons and so on. Obviously, many products from jeans, and generally making sure that there is less waste and using the resources to the maximum, upcycling. Fantastic example that is here is the business that is doing basically deco elements out of flip-flops. In Madagascar, where the climate is very hot, flip-flops are common footwear, right? So people are discarding many of those as they get worn out, and collecting the flip-flops on the seashore, then stitching them together and making a new product out of waste is really a successful business idea that is profitable and makes sense for the local community in which that trash is being cleaned out, supporting the teenagers that are collecting those flip-flops, supporting the local craftsmen in Madagascar who are creating those pieces, and obviously promoting the whole idea of environment protection, right? I think this is super old school, but this is also amazing. Imagine that nobody almost uses the tapes, right? Audio tapes, but then there would be still left cases for the audio tapes, and those could be used, say, as bracelet boxes, and literally looking into every single resource, every single item as a possibility to turn it into something that could have a second life, right? This is what sustainability and being green and being socially responsible is very much about. Different eco-friendly home solutions, products for kitchen are also in the market, and those are made with a concern about environment. And you could see some mushroom boxes that are almost empty. They have just some layer of the soil, right? But in that soil there are particles of mushrooms. And you know how mushrooms grow? You just put the coffee waste in that box, and then you have your own mushrooms in your own kitchen, not creating the waste, because the waste is what you put in that box, helping the mushrooms grow. Yeah, I guess the rest of the, I don't even want to call them chemicals, the kitchen's appliances, well, not really appliances, right? Different solutions for home, for kitchen, that are eco-friendly and are not environmentally hazardous. Now, problem solving, right? When talking about your business ideas that I suppose you didn't properly, finalize yet and didn't really brush out yet, you should be thinking of a problem that exists on the market in the first place, and then coming from that problem, looking how to build your business, creating your business idea. This is the time when you hopefully sit next to your teammates, when you have your pens and a piece of paper near you, and you taking the time to consider your problem, the problem that your business will solve. Knowing what sustainability is, what sustainable business is, social business is, think about the problem that that business is meant to solve. I started with explaining what sustainable development concept is, right? It was initiated by United Nations, and the United Nations has 17 sustainable development goals. Obviously, when you have a goal, an aim, there are some challenges in the way, right? Those are being referred to as sustainable development issues. There are more issues than the goals, right? Because obviously solving these issues falls into those 17 goal categories. I would like to ask you to go through these issues and consider if your business, the initial idea, and it may change. It's fine if you're going to adapt your business idea within the stages of the Futurepreneurs program. So thinking about these issues, are they connected? Which of them are connected to the business that you're going to create? Consider, right? Take the time to go through them. Lorena, there's a lady at the back. You don't have to write anything. I want you to just read them and think, does it have to do anything with your business, right? Which ones are the ones that your business will face as well, right? Are you with me? Are you with me? Not really, not everyone. Mm-hmm. Perfect. So, I continue, right? You looked through them. This is not precisely how you formulate your business mission or your business idea, but you may consider, when talking to your stakeholders, when talking to any person to whom you pitch your business, that these are the areas that are global challenges, the global issues. And your business solving particular problem matches those overall humanity issues, right? Now, the core part, right? Consider the problem that you will solve in your business. Like Lorena said, the point is not how you imagine it at this stage, considering what you know and your friend knows, yes? Today, problem solving will not finish. You're taking it home with you, and you will still be doing problem solving probably in the coming months, right? Properly brushing out the business idea, what exactly is that problem, maybe narrowing it down, right? And you shall consider initially a problem that is out there that you would like to have fixed, because there is this need on the market. And then let's start with looking into the causes, right? Because of what this problem exists, what triggers it, right? Draw it, make bullet points. If you find it difficult on the paper, do it in your phone, but that's the point. You have a problem, think about the causes of that problem, right? What triggers that situation? What triggers that need on the market? I'd like you to do it now so that you could read it later and we discuss. Yeah, I think right now, I want everyone to hear me, right? Right now, you have to formulate your problem, right? What is that you would like to solve with your business? And you need to write bullet points of the causes. What triggers that problem? Okay? I think we make it 5-7 minutes, and then a break for you to read what you have with the causes and the problem, and then we have the effects later. Okay? It can be like a tree, it can be bullet points, mind mapping, whatever form you like. All right. So the 10 minutes are over. Let's check in what you have in the formulation of the problem and what you have in the causes. This is not about having a perfect answer. This is about checking in what you have. All right? So which team is ready to say the problem and the causes that they have? Anyone? No brave people in the room?
It's kind of developing this delivery app that we saw. Like, we are not from Lithuania, so we live different reality, and is actually a delivery for everything. So there is not the actual store, so it's a delivery. So it's unattended. The actual guys that buy up go to the physical store or whatever store it will be. It could be like even a pharmacy, because in the night pharmacy they close here pretty early. So if I need anything that could be in my health, that could cause a problem of my health, I need it right now. I cannot go to like 10 kilometers to go there. That's why you should use this app for, like, for example, I'm going to explain like pretty well, maybe because that's the problem, but like it's kind of like a general delivery. It doesn't have to agree with the physical store, but just with the person who work. It's like a internet friend. By app, I call this guy, or like by app, I contact these guys. That guy, the person actually, they work for this app, the delivery guy. For in this case, like the person go to the physical store, buy what I want, what I actually like decide on the app to take, and deliver it to my house. That's like the general delivery. It doesn't have to be agreed with other physical store. And the problem could be like time solving. If he's a lazy person, so he doesn't want, he's gonna take his car to go there. So even like the emission of the car is gonna be like pretty less. And could save the business, because imagine there is something that is really good, like a really nice, good hamburger, but it's so far to my house. For how good could be, I will not go there. And that's what could save the delivery, could save that business, could sell more. Or in case of the pharmacy, I need that pills right now. And if it's night, there is no a lot of pharmacy open.
I think more or less I got the idea. It would be really helpful if you all tune in and listen to what is being discussed, because that's the point of you hearing the feedback for others as well. Because I bet you all have similar problem, right? The point was to formulate a problem, literally, a problem that exists on the market. I would very much appreciate that everyone hears me. I mean, there will be a lot of work for the mentors, I bet. But the point is, the formulation of the problem on the market. You see a person, 2, 10, 20, best, several hundreds, to make a market research for the assumptions that you have for the business. This is how normally businesses are being done, yeah? And testing those assumptions with the people that you think are your potential customers, different kind of assumptions about the product, about the problem that those people have, how they would like your business to solve their problem, and so on. You get the feedback of what the actual problem is and how to narrow down or maybe generalize that problem, right? When hearing you, and this is fantastic that you have some impetus for establishing a business and some business idea, right? Yeah. But it's wonderful that you have something to start for the brainstorming. But when considering the problem that exists on the market, be it international market, your local home community, here in Lithuania, again, you choose where that business will operate, right? What is the problem that your business will solve? Is it really the time? What I heard is that you're trying to make an app so that to solve the situation when the product is too far away, to handle it through someone else, to have that product, whatever that product is, to be bought in your name.
Yeah, it could be far, it could be close. I still don't want to use my time. Me as a friend, I don't want to use my time.
Okay, delivery service. Yeah? Consider how that will function for the drugs, for any kind of medicine. It very much depends on the kind of medicine, right? Not everything is simple to buy. Some medicine is prescribed, right? You narrow it down to particular products that are really logical, possible, convenient, makes sense to buy through such app in such way. But even before that, what kind of people would be using that app for those kind of products that are maybe non-perishable, do not involve medicine, and so on, yeah? You need to actually know the kind of people who will be buying from you, more or less, and come from the problem that they have, and think of how to solve their problem. Yeah? So, this is some, yeah? Anyone else? The problem itself and the causes, yes.
Thank you. So the problem is electronic wastes and plastic wastes, and causes. All the drinks are in plastic bottles, even tomatoes, separately packaged. But to me, more general, this is not reusable, unsorted waste, too cheap not to use it, we mean about plastic, then designed to use it one time, as for example these bags in shops, etc., and not enough of motivation and education of people.
So technological equipment waste and plastic waste, yes, both. Would you consider specializing in either one as an option? Not so much.
Scientists. So that's why
There is a scientist in Kitu University who has made a technology to recycle electrical products to nanoparticles. So they need a way how to commercialize it. So this is our one way. And one of the problems from electrical waste is that plastic is usually not recyclable. It's only used for burning. So this would be one of the solutions which we have.
So you know what the problem is about, but you yet need to consider for whom that is a problem. Yeah? Who would be concerned with the fact that there is electronic waste and plastic waste? Yeah? And consider how you reach out to those groups, right? Because they are the ones who will be paying for your services, right? How do they formulate that problem? Is there really a place for your product? Potential, yes? You're still figuring out what that service would be, right? Based on the fact that they have their own perspective, right? Maybe. You're talking about Vilnius savivaldybė and them processing the waste that they don't know how to process, don't have technological possibilities to process, yes? Maybe they only handle the organic waste. Or it's all the same wastelands, yeah? Consider the laws analysis for the companies that are working with technological equipment manufacturing. if there is any commitment from the manufacturer's side for the disposal of electronic goods, yeah, and how you have them engaged paying for your services, and how they formulate a problem. Maybe then you will have different kind of services specialization, yeah? But the problem that you formulate is excess of such waste, yeah, plastic and electronic, and difficulty to sort it at the moment, yes, from technological point of view. I understand correctly, right? The causes you named perfectly, and then when we all get to the next stage, thinking about the effects, where do you see the negative manifestations, yes? What does it result into? Thank you. No, you're not showing a product, you're talking about a problem and what causes that problem.
So any of us have some problems, and let's call it project, is about problem solving. And problem is we have a lot of problems, and we need to track them. And the better way to do that, the way we remember things. For instance, like a tree, that there is a root, then it has some branches, and those branches has leaves, and so on. But the point of my product is that this concept is endless. So any problem might cause any different problems, and they are nested. And as there is a saying, it's way more better to once see than 1,000 times to hear. And I would like to show you if there is a chance. Thank you.
I am not sure if I'm the only one, but I guess we had a difficulty understanding the core idea of what is the problem and how you put that into the business idea. Right, okay. I'd like anyone else to try to formulate a problem that is on the market and how that problem is triggered.
Okay, so the problem is early death from heart disease, and it's triggered by obesity, diabetes, lack of knowledge and self-care, smoking, alcohol, stress and anxiety, genetics, aging, and lack of exercise.
Thank you. A very good example of how to formulate a problem and a cause. Anyone else? Nobody. Perfect.
So the problem is urban air pollution, and the causes are consumption of fossil fuels and urban transportation.
Consumption of fossil fuels and urban transportation. Could there be more causes? Mm-hmm. But you could actually, split that into more sub-causes, so to say, yeah? Lifestyle, yeah.
So pollution is not a problem, an effect.
Environment pollution.
The problem in your case is cheap and accessible fossil fuels as a material. That's the problem. And the pollution is only an effect. And the cause is business mind people. So you have to look for alternative energy solution. In this case, how to solve this problem.
It very much depends on the business idea that you initially have. What is the initial business idea? Sell snacks and plant trees in urban areas. Okay. Okay. Thank you. I'm good. That's a good idea. Then you need to formulate the problem a bit differently. I'll get back to you on the problem, okay? Then, if nobody else is...
It's at the back.
Well, it would be good if you came here. And I don't think we have so much time, really. We still need to speak about the effects.
Yeah, we have such a different problem, not from the list. It's a social communication problem between creators, artists, business, clients. I mean, if causes is because of lots of like people are not matching interests in creativity, like from arts or technologies, and it causes there not enough quality jobs or anything. I mean, communication problems because of every creator is individual, you know? They are creating themselves, and they easily don't want to be have internships with other people than they are creating, and there's a lot of biggest projects that just need that internships, and I mean this a bit different problem. We had done a research over 1 or more years, and creators have a lot of communication problems in social networking or something, because they can reach each other if somebody want to get an actor for their project. I mean, no, it's about about arts, about crafts, about something what is done, creativity, you know, when you're composing something.
So basically we want to create an environment where you can find people to work with, and you can promote your own idea and find business people for your idea, and get quality get a high level of quality personnel for your ideas. So different, yeah, and the problem is that there is a segregation in specialties of people, because like theater people don't communicate with film industry and blah and so on, and yeah, that's the cause. It's an effect, maybe.
You didn't touch the problem yet, and even the causes yet.
Yes.
Just the causes you've been touching around.
Well, you have an area in which you would like to have a solution for the situation that you have, right? Consider what is this something that you would like to solve, maybe bounce backwards, yes? If you're thinking about creating a business, because we're talking about creating a company here, yeah? That is not a community, it's a business. It's not VSHI, it's not public organization of any kind. You're a business that is meant to solve a problem for such people. Maybe employment problem, yeah? So consider how to formulate that problem and what causes that particular problem. Yeah, what triggers it?
So why they are not employed yet? That's the question first. Because their interest is very different. Now,
Is it the...
That's an assumption. I think you are wrong. People are unemployed because they don't want to be employed firstly.
Or it's a very narrow specialization. Yeah. I think narrow specialization, right? That they cannot find a match for the skills that they have or the art directions that they want to pursue. Consider different kind of causes that trigger this problem that people in the art sector have difficulties to be employed, and how you think of the business that you are supposed to create in the end, right? How that business will be solving that problem for them, right? Thank you. We have some very few last minutes left, right? Some 10 last minutes. Let's do the part with the effects. When you have formulated your problem, something that your business is concerned about, what triggers that problem, your causes, and you think of how that problem is manifested, where you see these effects that the problem creates. Write them as the branches that come from the problem. Yeah? And let's give it another 5 minutes for you to dot that and for us to brainstorm on the effects that you have. Who is ready to share their effects? Perfect.
So, as my colleague mentioned, our problem was early death by heart disease. And the effects are shorter lifespan, economical burden for family and government, lack of social safety for our relatives if, let's say, a person dies with who takes care of all financial problems of the family, and also psychological damage to relatives.
Well, yeah. Anyone else? I mean, it could work as some of the effects, but obviously you could think of others and maybe splitting them in sub-effects.
So we are focusing on women that are going on maternity leave. So during that time, 1, 2, or 3 years, they lose the knowledge, self-confidence of the skills that they were working on. So we would like involve them and use opportunity when they have time to provide consultations to the companies or clients that would need maybe some consultancy, and they could provide it. So to keep them involved, self-confident, and after they come back to their jobs, and if still the job is waiting for them, or if not, they feel more secure because they have some incomes and maybe some experience that they can share and prove that they are on the level that the company expects. The problem that women that are on maternity leave, they lose skills. So. No, that the problem that there are no programs for mothers to keep during the maternity leave, to keep their engagement skills, working skills.
What I feel that this is an assumption that they want to be kept somewhere on extra basis. So then you need to check, do they really want to be involved in extra activities? How many of them? I believe that there are, but how many of them?
Okay, we don't have the numbers how many there are. We just see, for example, from the social group that we are in, that young women who are in professional jobs but leave on maternity leave, then they have some extra time on their hands, right? And after, but for example, they don't have where to practice their skills or to provide some services and maybe earn some extra money. After they come back 2 years, after the 2 years, they are told that, oh, sorry, now your skills, your expertise is out of date. For example, they get their pays reduced or even are forced to leave. On a freelance basis, no?
No, but that's, I see 2 areas, because one, are you speaking about professionally
yes.
career women who left, went to maternity leave?
Yes.
This one, or
yes.
those who were unprofessional and left to maternity leave?
Professional.
Which professional ones. So then you should check this professional from, I don't know, top 5 companies worth, how many left on maternity leave, and then speak with them, do they really want to do that? Come back to because I'm not sure. Yeah, is there really a problem there? And how large it is? I know that's...
The point of my project is when we have a lot of things to do, let's call it to-do list, we are stuck with a decision what actually is better to do right now. And in current project, it is possible to prioritize that. And basically it solves that problem that if we're having a lot of things to do, it's difficult to decide, and we can just think, I'm tired, why not have a party, or I don't know, watch a movie. So this thing is about getting things done. Thank you.
Okay. You're not specific today. I'll tell you the truth. You lack of specific here. Who wants to express the effects? I don't know how much time we have for that. It's it. You do? Okay, do the last one, and I will tell you what's going to...
So the effects are urban outdoor air pollution, lung diseases, heart diseases, premature death, acid rains, climate warming, water pollution, and high expenses on medical care.
Yeah, then I will speak with you. Okay, so that's while you're having a lot of effects, so then for you later to check which of those effects are most how to say most important or most dealing a let's say damage or over here, because what's going to happen, you have to choose then a technology or innovation based to solve the problem directly, the problem itself. That's an ideal solution, ideal situation. Then you can solve that problem itself just straight away. But that's sometimes it's very difficult. So you want to make an impact, solving the effect and lowering the damage done by effect. I mean, while you're not solving the real problem, you can deal with one of the effects and then propose the solution. It's not solving the problem itself. It's solving the lowering the damage for impact for society, economy, or environment. So dealing with the plastic is not solving the problem itself. They use extensive use of the plastic. You're not solving that problem yet, but you're dealing with an effect. I'm taking part of the plastic and I'm dealing with that part of plastic, and I'm reusing that for, I don't know, 3D printing machines, for plastic pipes or whatever. I'm doing secondary items to like plastic from oceans, and then I'm doing gadgets from that, and then I selling on aftermarket. So that's you should understand how you're going to make an impact later. Is it going to be based on a problem or based on an effect? So choose if you're going to do solving the solution from the effect. So choose the effect you're going to solve most. Is it clear? I don't know. But okay. And what is going to happen next? This is the most difficult part. We know that. We're dealing with a lot of startups, and they cannot express some of them at first clearly what actually the problems. They do a lot of assumptions. I'm now checking it. I'm doing like, you know, like a horse with blood and blinded eyes going straight ahead somewhere to the finish, but there is a guy behind the horse. That's why they are the top in the I mean the first in the line, but there is no guy behind you except me. So I'm propose you this Friday to come on Sunrise Valley and to speak again about your idea, the problem, solution, and effects. If you feel uncomfortable now and see that you're lost today. I believe there are teams who's quite feeling comfortable with the topic, but if you feel that I'm strange here, come on Friday from 9 a.m. till 5 p.m. Julia will send you my details, like telephone, and call me directly. Laurinas, I'm coming in a half an hour, and I'll meet you. And then we can speak with you later. Because without this stuff, you'll be going to be lost in your solution. Your solution will be wasteful. No market for that solution. Nobody will care about that, and you're going to impress yourself, your mother, your father, but not the market. So if you really want to make money So do this first, and then we're going to go for the solution and the business, money, and so on. So thank you very much for today, and be ready to work. And thank you for Diana. Cheers for her. She's still going to be a mentor in Futurepreneurs. Yeah. And we'll meet in a week, next Wednesday here by 6.